that, and the other. See, some of these people who are under their I am God type of philosophy, they believe themselves to be God. And when they believe themselves to be God, they believe themselves to be righteous like God. So when you bring up something that makes them feel some kind of way, they will find a way to insult you, okay, to nitpick with you, to bring up the past, and you're not even that old creature anymore. You're a new creature. But they've got to do something because they don't want the gospel to be preached, because that's ultimately what the Lord is going to lead you to do with these I am God type of controlling parental figures, in-laws, and some of you all, you can plug in some names, okay? You're going to sooner or later find yourself taking them to things that God has wanted to share with them. Subject matter such as Jesus saves, and when is the last time that you confessed sin and repented? Everybody is not destined to go to heaven. You need to take a look at the scriptures where it talks about those who will not be inheriting the kingdom of God. Do you believe yourself to be perfect? Do you believe that you've never told a lie, that you've never stolen, that you've never this, that, and the other? And then you go into how Jesus, he says all have fallen short of the glory of God. And, you go on and you talk about some of the basic essential Christian doctrine. And before long, somebody's eyebrows are going up, or somebody has a twisted look on their face, or someone has to get off the phone. Okay. I know some of you all pray the type of prayers that you really want to get your relatives, your in-laws, your friends, and everybody else saved. But unless God has called and chosen that person, your conversation is going to fall on deaf ears. Okay. Somewhere, though, they're going to have to make a choice, okay, in their lifetime to either follow the one true God and stop putting themselves on some kind of pedestal, or they're just simply going to say, like some people do, all the way till their deathbed, cursing God. I'm not trying to follow after God, but you sickly and you need Jesus. I'm not thinking about Jesus right now. Matter of fact, your God put me in this position, so why would I want to serve him? And so they close their eyes and they're gone and forever damned to a hell. Okay, that could have been avoided. And some people will say things like, why are you worried about my soul? Why are you worried about my health? For instance, if you're giving them tips on how they can better their health. Look, I'm good. I'm fine. I don't need you to tell me this. I don't need you to tell me that. And then digress and start saying things like, well, how are your kids? Or what are you up to these days? You see, the truth is not going to be received well from somebody who has that I am God type of philosophy, who considers themselves to be something special. Okay. And I know that it hurts some people when you're having these conversations and they bark back and they got a lot of ugly that they throw your way. This is why I tell some people you can save yourself a lot of hurt, a lot of frustration, and even dishonoring one's parent or in-law or what have you by just not having those kind of conversations with them at all. And if you feel so moved to want to have that kind of conversation and you know that it's nothing but the one true God, yes, it's going to divide you. A lot of folks think that they can have any conversation with someone and that we still won't be tight. No, over time, you are not going to be close to that person because you speak too much truth. You see, they consider it to be too much truth. You consider it to be just whatever it is that the Lord laid on your heart. But there is a limit to how much a person is going to take when it comes to truth speaking. Over the years, I've had some people that they got to a point where, nope, I can't listen to her no more because the messages got more and more cutting. Okay. As the Lord matured me, as the Lord was putting things upon my heart, it got closer and closer to home. And some folks said, this is starting to really get to me and I can't keep listening to her. It happens because you have to be willing to accept the truth in all its forms, truth about finances, not truth about just what you feel like it, truth about business, truth about your relationship or lack thereof with your children and grandchildren, truth about your health, truth about where you live or what your future goals are or what you've been saying to this one and that caused divisiveness in the family. And now somebody's coming at you and saying what you're saying is wrong. You got to be willing to do these things when you're walking with the one true God, because he's going to put people, places, and things around you to raise up truth. And if you can't handle it, okay, then you are going to be that one that's going to be pretty much isolated, because you can't handle what people are saying to you in the church, outside the church, people within your own family, your husband, your wife, your sister, your brother. You can't handle it. So that's why some people isolate themselves, because their heart starts pounding. They feel all sorts of sweats. They get all nervous. Their stomach is uptight because, once again, somebody is saying something that they can't digest. But they put a lot of the drama out here, you see. If you consider yourself to be this I am God and I don't need God type of person, one thing you don't do then is be that one that's putting drama out here. Because you know that if you're going to go and put drama out here, there's going to be something that comes back upon you sooner or later, even if it is the type of information that's going to free some people. Some people look at it as drama. Okay. And if you can't handle it, then you just can't handle it. You have some individuals who, these I am God type of folk in the family, who believe themselves to live long, prosperous, marry, make until they die. You know, these type of individuals, they will dispense their thoughts onto the unsuspecting. The unsuspecting, they like to listen to things that tickle their ears. And the Bible warns us about this. So if you're concerned about death coming upon you, because maybe you feel like you're under some kind of curse, right? The demigod is going to say things like, oh, don't be concerned about any of that. You're in control of your own destiny. You can live long and prosperous. All you have to do is follow this tip book. All you have to do is get around these people. You know, all you have to do is eat this and exercise and whatever else. You see, they are masters in terms of defying age. You know, age-defying creams, age-defying pills, and all that. Now, why would somebody be so focused on living long and even telling the world, I'm going to live until I'm 100 and whatever? Why would they do that? Because they know innately that they are not on the right side with the Lord. They've been running from the Lord for years. When the Lord called them to his church, they said no, or they come up with some excuses, or they were in the church for a while and fell away. Okay. When the Lord called them to build up their families and show some love and be there for the wife or for the husband or what have you, they went off and was with some other people. Okay. Every time. So basically my point is this: every time God spoke to that individual to do something in his or her life, okay, to make things better for the future, that person ran. And so as they get closer and closer to death's door, they are basically saying in so many words, don't kill me, Lord. Because they know, for some of them, they are under a curse. And we can sugarcoat things all we want and say that God don't curse. That's a lie straight from the pits of hell. God does curse. It's in the Old Testament. Okay. God hasn't changed. Yes, Jesus, he saved us and all of this, but people are not taking advantage of what Jesus did on the cross for us. They are rebelling against that. They want to just live their lives in the way that they see fit. You see, and it hurts to see this sort of thing take place, because they don't think that there's anything wrong with believing themselves to be so holy, so righteous, and so in touch with the Lord, despite the fact that they've been running from the Lord. They don't see anything wrong with saying things like they're in control of how long they're on this planet. That is a lie straight from hell. God got every intention of taking a man out before he even reaches 100 plus. There are very few, and I do mean there are very few people that can run around here saying that I'm blessed because I lived for 100 and some years and I'm doing this, that, and the other. No, you make it that long, you suffering. And some folks say, that's why I don't want to live that long. You going to suffer sooner or later. You see, the mind breaks down, the body breaks down, and everything else, because what we got in this world right now, okay, no matter how much man comes up with ways to make people live longer and all that, and even though, yes, it is working, okay, for some individuals, yes, they are living longer. But then here's the thing, living longer to do what? Living longer to keep telling lies, living longer to keep feeding off of other people, living longer to do what? Come on, some of you all, if you think about some of those folks who's living longer, are they living longer to help others? Are they living longer to give back to the communities? Or are they living longer to sit in front of television screens and computer devices? Are they living longer to continue to control their family members and friends? You see? And some folks, while there's people that's hoping and wishing that some people live longer, there's other people who's being abused by them that's hoping and wishing that God would just take them out of here. That's a little secret that some folks don't know about. Everything is not what it's cracked up to be. And just because, once again, there's a title that's in front of that person does not mean that there's something special. And just because a person walks around and they haven't suffered anything emotionally, physically, or spiritually damning right now doesn't mean that they're not going to eventually suffer that. Because if you keep running away from the Lord, I don't care how nice you are or how nice you look or what all you have, God is going to make an example out of you. And some of us who have went through some fires and people knew about our fires and was judging us and was being critical of us and talk about, your butt whooping is coming. And for some folks, their butt whooping came and went, and now they're into another butt whooping because they never ever learned from the times when they was crawling on their knees and they were crying out to the Lord. They didn't learn then, and they're still not learning walking upright. How long do you think that God's going to keep allowing the wicked to prosper? It's not going to keep happening, my friends. And some of you all, you needed that word of encouragement because you're looking around and you saying this man got the nerve to sit up here after all he's done, running away from the Lord, acting ugly, being disrespectful, got the nerve to sit up there and want God to put some more years on his life. For what? To cause more problems?